We are built for this network, for the strong, not the weak.
escaping this. No 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 escaping this.
No one's ready to deal with us.
No escaping this. No escaping this. No escaping.
No one's ready to deal with us.
No escaping this. No escaping this. No escaping.
No one's ready to deal with us.
No escaping this. No escaping this. No escaping.
No one's ready to deal with us.
You are listening to the End of the Bench podcast on Built for This Network, hosted by my man HRap.
Thank you for tuning in. It's your man HRap coming at you live and direct as usual. It is Tuesday, 5 p.m. Central Standard Time. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, whichever one in accordance to what time you catch the show. Thank you for tuning in. As you know, I need you to hit that like button. I need you to hit that share button. I need you to hit that subscribe button. I need you to use that bell and get used for notification purposes and tune in. And every time I start a show, you will get a notification that I'm on air and we can proceed. Thank you for tuning in. This is the End of the Bench podcast on Built for This Network. You are watching me on YouTube if that's the case. And if it's not the case, you are listening on Spreaker.com. Thank you for tuning in. Either way, I still need you to hit that like button. Hit that like button. It is very important to me. It works with the algorithm, so I could be at the top of the page and more people can discover me. More people discover me. Hopefully, I'll be enriching more people. And if I'm enriching more people, that means the goal is being accomplished. Period. Point blank. End of sentence. Thank you. Now, as you hear me say every week, this is a podcast. What is a podcast? Podcast is on-demand entertainment. On-demand entertainment means you can watch this 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and you can watch it on YouTube, as you are clearly seeing, or you can look up Built for This Network. Built for This Network. On Spreaker.com. You can look for it on iTunes, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Podcast Addict, Castbox, Deezer, Amazon, or wherever you download your favorite podcast. You can find me, I can find you, and we can enrich each other. We can use each other to make each other better people, places, things, and do the damn thing. Now, with that being said, I want to thank you again. Now, we all know how we get down at the start of every show. I acknowledge my family. My family is important to me. My family who are living, who support me, and my ancestors. That is everybody connected to the Pollard, Whitmore, Patterson, Turner, Battle, Cotton, Bailey, Shaw, Thompson, Chris, Lansdowne, Ligon, Duncan, and you know me, my mother, my father, my brothers, sisters, nieces, nephews, cousins. We are the Williams clan, and we are always in the building. Thank you for tuning in. Now. I start off each show with something that I think is important. And here's a video of some things that I think is important. This is something, there's been scuttlebutt about who, when, what, where, why Bill Cosby has been under attack. And this is what I want you to look at. I want you to look at this video, and then I'm going to proceed. Check this out, and I'll be back shortly.
Black history, lost, stolen, or strayed.
No, I could never fit in that. Never get in that at all. This is more like it. Now, what's the whitest thing you know? Whiter than the driven snow, whiter than the whites of your eyes? Sugar. Non-integrated, non-black, sweet sugar. But you see, there is a black man in your sugar. His name is Norbert Rillier. Norbert Rillier in 1846 invented a vacuum pan that revolutionized the sugar refining industry. Now, you'll have to dig to find that fact. I mean, it's not much history, but it's still history. Now, what do you stand in? In your shoes. Now, there's just you and your shoes, isn't it? Nope. See, there's a black man standing in your Oxfords with you. Sharing your soul and your heel is a man, his name is Jan Ernst Metzelger. And in 1863, this is a drawing by the kids, Metzelger invented the machine that made mass-produced shoes possible. Now you have to dig around for that fact, too. And again, it's not much history, but it's history. Am I coming in clear to California? I mean, is this TV signal driving through a pass in the Sierra Nevada mountains and slipping into San Francisco? Okay, well, I want to thank you, Jim Beckworth. Jim Beckworth out of St. Louis, hunter, trapper, and honorary chief of the Crow tribe of Indians. We had trouble finding you, Jim. Though you helped open the West, you didn't make the books. Chicago, right here, where the Wrigley building is. A young fellow by the name of Jean-Baptiste de Save. Jean Baptiste, he founded you, Chicago, when he traded with the Indians. And of course, there it is right there at that particular time. It was called Chicago or Stinking Onion by the Indians. And de Save, he didn't even change the name at all. Now you take the Lewis and Clark expedition here, right in there. You'll find a black man named York helping to open the West. Those men are trying to wash the black out of York. That's what you might call historically significant, because a lot of people think we ought to wash white, but we ain't gonna, you see. Texas. Coming to you, Texas. Right down the Chisholm Trail, right here. Right down there with 5,000 black cowboys who never made it to the Hollywood West. Did you know that? Huh? In this same group, there was one black outlaw. His name was Deadwood Dick, who claimed his soul brothers were Bat Masterson, Billy the Kid, and Jesse James. Did what Dick used to ride into the saloon, order 2 drinks, one for himself and one for his horse. And here's his horse drinking a shot of red eye with a straw. And how about the 186,000 blacks who fought on the Union side during the Civil War? 38,000 died. How about Teddy Roosevelt's charge up San Juan Hill? It wasn't just the Rough Riders who made it. 4 black regiments went right up with Teddy. They didn't get lost going up the hill. They got lost in the history books. How about the North Pole? Snow White? Well, the first man there was black, Matthew Henson. He spoke Eskimo. And he was Admiral Perry's navigator, and although he made it first to the pole, it never quite made it to the history books. And how about your heart? Can we get there? All right. Daniel Hale Williams first performed open heart surgery successfully. Now, this list could go on forever. Blacks who made it, blacks who made history, but who didn't get into the history text at all. And the strange thing is how little there is about us in the textbooks. Napoleon once said history is a fable agreed upon, and the fable agreed upon up to now is that American history is white on white. But sometimes we did get into the history books. All wrong. Now you take this one. The Growth of the American Republic, 1942 edition. Samuel Eliot Morrison, Henry Steele Commager. Quote, as for. This has to do with slavery. As for Sambo, Professor Morrison. Sambo, Professor Commager. As for Sambo, whose wrongs moved the abolitionists to wrath and tears, there is some reason to believe that he suffered less than any other class in the South from its peculiar institution. Peculiar institution means slavery. Although brought to America by force, the incurably optimistic Negro soon became attached to the country and devoted to his white folks. Unquote. Those lines were written by 2 Pulitzer Prize-winning white Northern professors. Slavery. That's the place everybody likes to start Negro history. You have ignorant black men being brought over from Africa in chains. Terrible thing, slavery. But this way slavery is taught, it sort of takes the sting out of it. Because the way it's usually taught, people think that we Afro-Americans started with nothing but little grass skirts like the kids of the Tarzan movies. And though America gave us slavery, America kindly gave us religion and a lick or 2 of education. And when we get more jobs and more education, up from slavery. But we had something before we left Africa, something more than rhythm. I mean, we had a high culture. The culture was so high that great artists in the world are still borrowing from it. Now here's a sculpture by an unknown African artist. And here's what Paul Klee took from him. Now here's a work by an unknown black African, and Pablo Picasso liked what he saw. Another African design, and Modigliani swiped it. Or he was influenced by it, or whatever polite word you want to use. Another black African artist, and Picasso didn't change it very much. I mean, when you look at this copying, you gotta give us a little more than rhythm. You gotta give us style. Now, if you tell the history of slavery right, you got a big problem on your hands. The slave trader didn't take some savage out of Africa. He took a human being, sold him like an animal, and separated him from his family. America invented the cruelest slavery in the history of this. It broke up black families. After slavery was over, America kept breaking up the black man's family. And that's some awful history to teach. Now, if you want to look history right straight in the eye, you you're going to get a black eye. Because it isn't important whether a few black heroes got lost or stolen or strayed in America's history textbooks. What's important is why they got left out. Now, this country has got a psychological history. There was a master race, there was a slave race. And though there isn't any political slavery anymore, those same old attitudes have hung around. I mean, the burning part of Burn, Baby Burn is right here in this classroom. We want to thank Mrs. Lovely Billups and the whole gang here at the 4th grade for the brilliant and intelligent artwork that they've done here.
I'm back. Thank you for tuning in to the End of the Bench podcast. It's your man HRap B. Thank you for tuning in. The reason I thought it was important that you tuned into this is this. What you just saw, in my opinion, what I believe is the real reason Bill Cosby has been ostracized in the United States of America. There's been ideas bantied about Bill Cosby was attempting to purchase NBC. I wasn't there. I wasn't part of the negotiation. I don't know. I can't tell you if that was the case. I'm not going to, nobody will ever know. But what you just saw is part of the reason I think Bill Cosby was ostracized. Because what you just saw was a video from the 1970s, and has our elder Bill Cosby, no matter what he did in his past, no matter what he contributed to the world, no matter what is going on in his life as of this very moment, our elder William Cosby, Dr. William Cosby, just showed you why he backed up everything I say every week. The reason your history is skewed, because in the event that you find out your history is what it is, you'll be listening to Marcus Garvey say, what an African has done, an African can do. Period. As you saw, Picasso, the greatest artist in the history of the world, he's so magnificent, he stole his ideas from a black person. A lot of people don't know Beethoven looked like me. There are millions and millions, thousands and thousands of secrets that have been covered up with history class. And that's exactly what it is, his story. Because the winner tells the story. See, we can easily say, hey man, Bill Cosby is a rapist and we wasn't there, so we won't know. I don't know. I'm not going to accuse him of anything that I didn't witness. I'm not sure. We'll never know what the situation is. But in the event that he has all these flaws that everybody's talking about, isn't it awful strange that the person who introduced you to your accurate history is the person who gets prosecuted at that time 10 years later, and now 20, 30 years after the original prosecution, he was incarcerated and then let out, and he'll never be exonerated, because rape and child molestation, like with our ancestor Michael Jackson, those are the kind of accusations that never disappear. It's one of the reasons I hate when someone lies on me. You can lie to me. I don't know why you're lying to me, but you can lie to me and I'll just say, hey, I don't get it. I'll deal with it. He lying really has no effect on me. Period. It doesn't. But when you lie on somebody, it lingers forever. No matter how many times you prove this to be true, a lie or dishonest or a wicked thought behind it, you go, it could have been. But looking at that video, and you see Dr. Cosby introduce young people to the absolute truth. And maybe, just maybe, that's why. See, what we have to do as a community is realize that we're constantly under attack. I was going to say this for the middle of the show, But I'm going to do this at the beginning of the show, and it's because it's important. Before I even start, if you're coming in on YouTube or Built for This Network, which I am still a part of, which all my shows, every show, as a matter of fact, guess what? I keep hearing that I'm only on YouTube. I'm not only on YouTube. You can see me on YouTube because it's a more progressive way and it attracts more people. But you can listen to me as I start off every single solitary show on Spreaker.com, on Built for This Network, and you look up Built for This Network for the remaining YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Castbox, Deezer, Amazon Podcast Addict, or wherever you download your podcast. So, no, HRap is never, under no circumstances, leave it Built for This Network. I've invested too much time and energy in Built for This Network to ever leave. Now, let's open up a television network, and then it'll be called Built for This Network. So I'll still be Built for This Network. But as I was stating, we're constantly doing battle with the dominant society because in the event that you ever realize what your history is, you will stop using terms like that N-word that I use in private, in close quarters. You'll stop, people will stop calling the ladies B's and the brothers N's and punk MFs and all this. At that point, you'll realize the greatness that lies within you. But because we've been conditioned to think less of ourselves, that's why we become alcoholics, because guess what? Alcoholism is overabundance, overindulgence in alcohol. Drug addiction is overindulgence in drugs. And you escape those things because you probably are not feeling the best about yourself, because every time you turn around, it's a wall high as the Willis Tower, or if you're not familiar with the Willis or Sears Tower here in Chicago, high as the Empire State Building in New York. Because that's how hard the people who control the United States of America have worked to make you feel like you're less than. This is a fact. I don't know if Bill Cosby is under attack because of that, but it's just awful strange that one of the few people who has always attempted, whether I disagree with him in the 90s when he made that one statement, I was angry with him on Arsenio Hall when he disrespected this brother from the Nation of Islam, making fun of the term Assalamu Alaikum. But he still attempted. In his mind, he was doing the best he could to put forth an effort to make us look good. So with that, I can't be mad at him. I could be disappointed, but I can't be mad at him. I'm not going to carry that grudge for the rest of my life because he did something I didn't like. He did something that I deemed disrespectful. So I'm not going to be, I hate Bill Cosby. Bill Cosby makes me, no. I'm disappointed at a few things, but hey, there's people who have listened to this show and reached out to me on Twitter, and they were wrong, but they said they were disappointed, and I showed them the flaw in their conversation, and we made amends, but they no gonna listen. But it is what it is. That's just the way it works. So I don't have time to be sitting around, walking around, mad, angry, and things of that nature, because it's just not productive. But it's just awful strange that a guy who has spent his entire career uplifting the community, he is a dude who, for whatever reason, white women in America are afraid to tell on a black man for the first time in the history of the country. Go figure. But I'm not here to defend Dr. Cosby. I'm here to uplift me and you. That's what I'm here for, because when you start doing research, like I did that in hopes to inspire you to go down those same rabbit holes. Like a lot of us, we going down the vaccination right now, the most divisive conversation in the United States of America, or maybe even worldwide, but definitely in the United States, is vaccinations. So you go down these wormholes to figure out the vaccination is good. You go down these wormholes to figure out if the vaccination is bad. So now you have a reason to go down the wormhole to see just how great you are. Look at how many other things that you see in the United States of America that was taken from our continent, our homeland, and told to you that it was fictitious, like the pyramids. Everybody thinks that the pyramids of Giza, Egypt, those are only pyramids. There are pyramids in Taiwan, there are pyramids in Vietnam, there are pyramids in China, there are pyramids in South America, there are pyramids in Central America, there are pyramids in Mexico, and it has been rumored lately that there's a pyramid even in the Grand Canyon. There are documentations that people who look like us from our homeland or in the what is called Turtle Island originally, but in the United States of America, 400 years before Christopher Columbus was born. All you have to do, everybody loves Dr. Henry Louis Gates, but me. That's another conversation. But everybody loves Dr. Henry Louis Gates. He does these genealogy things, and he back maps you and helps you discover who and what you are and where you come from. Well, he did one of my favorite rappers, MCs, I should say, Black Thought, traced Black Thought family to North America back in the 1300s, but those history books tell us that they didn't get here to 1492 and they drug us over here. But no, that's not always true. Now, there's another thing for you to look up. See, the more you look up, the more you can empower your children. The more you empower your children, the more you engage them in their future. And the more you engage them in their future, the better off they will be. See, a lot of the reasons, and it has been studied upon for decades and decades, a lot of the reasons our young people don't engage in school like they used to, because a lot of the people who are teaching them don't look like them. And when those teachers look like them, they know that person is fully engaged in their future. And then that person goes out of their way to show them how important they are, because your kid, you look just like my child. See, but when you're being taught by somebody from outside of the community, they may love you, but they don't love you like those ladies, like Miss Bradley or Miss Wilson, who's in the chat room now. Miss Bradley, Miss Johnson, Miss Adams, Miss Lewis, and so forth and so on from my elementary school, who built me up and propped me up, and they wouldn't let us walk with our heads down at William E. Gladstone Elementary. These people empowered us. Dr. Falk, Mr. Calloway, Mr. Gardner. These people invested in us time and time again. So when we left William E. Gladstone Elementary, and when you left in my neighborhood, Manier, or if you left any school where those instructors look like you, you would not be lacking, because you look just like their kids. And when you are being taught by somebody who has an investment in you spiritually, socially, tribally, you'll be a better and a more astute student, because guess what? You won't only find out about WB, but you won't only find out about Dr. King and Rosa Parks and George Washington Carver, and they used to have Dr. Cosby on the wall back then, but you'll find out about Shirley Chisholm, Fannie Lou Hamer, and all the glorious women who helped in the struggle. And you'll find out all about Medgar Evers, and the noble Drew Ali, and the most honorable Elijah Muhammad, and Marcus Garvey, and Thurgood Marshall, and a host of other people. Whitney Young, people, Chicagoans. Whitney Young is not a high school, it's a man. He suspiciously died, an excellent swimmer that drowns, but we're not going to do that either. But again, another reason to go down the rabbit hole. I want you to understand this, and understand this for sure. One thing's for sure, two things for certain. You are being under attack, and it's even in subtle ways. Things like this nonsense about chasing the bag. That's a joke. I'm out here trying to get the bag so I can live my best life. See, we pick up all these bromites and slogans that mean absolutely nothing. Why don't you open up a Bible, a Torah, a Quran, and then you'll be able to pick up some things that'll be valuable to you for the rest of your life. But we don't do that, do we? We pick up this nonsense and then carry it out. We're being attacked on so many levels. That our food is being attacked, our mind is being attacked. We got our kids are being programmed. That's why they call it television programming. They're programming you through the television. Chasing the bag, or this slogan, and I'm not attacking my main man, Steve. That's on you, but it ain't ever on you. I disagree. Me and Steve had these heated arguments all the time. It's never nothing personal, but we just see things a different way. And that's the beauty in our friendship. We can argue, yell, scream, and cuss at each other. Then it's like, hey, well, we gonna get this beer, or we're gonna go get to eat, and then it's over. But what I want you to understand is, if you don't learn who you are, school is worthless. Marva Collins told people in the 60s, we need to teach our kids how to cognitively think. And then mathematics, science, history, and English is natural to them. Because if you're not thinking properly, the stuff that they teach you in school, George Washington never lied, Abraham Lincoln is a friend to the black man, Teddy Roosevelt is a friend to a black man, John F. Kennedy was a friend to the black man. None of these guys liked us. All of them have been part of the war on us. Sports networks, bad-mouthing our young black men, disrespecting our young black women. How in the hell can you tell me, don't ever pick on a child, bullying is the wrong thing to do? How can you allow somebody to bully somebody? And you turn around and my little sister, Anomi Osaka, tells you this platform that I'm on is stressing me out, and the whole world turns on them. Simone Biles, how many of y'all know she was part of that Dr. NASA thing when the damn physician of the United States gymnastic team was molesting the young ladies on the team? She went through that. Then she went on to be a world champion. Then she went on to be the greatest Olympian. And then she come back to another Olympiad, and understanding that she has to be perfect in her job in order to make everybody in the world happy. And if she's not perfect, the whole world says, what's wrong with you? Now, most of us don't even like when our cousin point out that we misspell something on Facebook. But you think Simone is supposed to be able to, and these other young ladies are supposed to be able to take the whole world pointing their finger at them and disrespecting them? How foolish could you possibly be thinking that nonsense? But this is why I'm here, to let you know we are under attack. Our young men again, our young women again, our children again. Everybody has an agenda. Everybody's trying to pimp us out. And when we do rise from the ashes that they done burned into our souls at this point, we can heal. So don't think it's a permanent mark. We can heal. But everything is being under attack. When you stand up, see, we keep looking for the physical tyranny, the burning of a town, the shooting of a man in his parking lot. In his driveway, Medgar Evers. The shooting of a man at a podium, the great Malcolm X. The shooting of a man on a balcony, the great Dr. King. The drowning of a man, Dr. King's brother, as well as Whitney Young. And I can go on and on and on and on and on about the things that we are being forced to deal with. But I'm going to stop at this one thing. This is the simplest way I'm talking about. We consistently start yelling this thing, chasing the bag. I got to chase the bag because I want to live my best life. And I consistently say, all money, not good money. This brings me to my favorite snack in the world. Potato chips. What does potato chips have to do with anything? Potato chips has everything to do with everything, people. Potato chips is the reason I even did this show today. I was thinking about not doing it. 2 weeks ago, I was in this neighborhood store. And if you can see this clearly, it's my brother from the Boston Celtics right here. Young brother from the Boston Celtics. He's getting paid for this. Barbecue Flamin' Hots. Attracted to black people. Barbecue, right? Flamin' Hots. That's the national snack of America. All young black people indulging in hot, flaming hot chips, crunchy curls, all this nonsense that we people all these nonsensical poisons that we put in our body, and we is the most important word in that statement, because like I said, potato chips are my favorite snack. How are potato chips a threat to you? Not because it's poisonous and put it in your body, you gain weight, you clogging your. That's not the point. If you know Jason Tatum is on his bag, what's the blackest sport in America? Basketball. Basketball is being played coast to coast in every hood. If you're the best basketball player, you're the man. You don't have to go to the pros. If you go to college, we see you on TV. We all focus on you on TV. Patrick Beverly, Ronnie Fields, countless Joe Stiffer. Y'all don't know these people. These Chicago basketball legends. Some of them made it to the pros. Some of them didn't. But when you put a guy from the National Basketball Association and Jason Tatum on a bag of potato chips, you are doing targeting. You're targeting my community by these Ruffles potato chips, which, for the record, at one point in my life, up until I saw this bag of chips, Ruffles were my favorite brand of potato chips. Until I realized that's not marketing. This is not just simple marketing. This is not just simple marketing. You know what this is? This is an attempt to shut down another black man. A black man by the name of Percy Miller. A couple years ago, our brother Percy Miller came out with this. Rap snacks. You go, rap snacks. And his son, Romeo Miller, part owner of the company and spokesperson of the company. Why is Jaden Tatum on that Ruffle bag? Because Master P is starting to cut into Ruffle's profit. Master P has come out with ramen noodles, and there's a lot of people that's messing with Master P's ramen noodles. He's come out with like a Master P wrap thing, wrap snacks, ramen noodles, Uncle Ben's, he called it Uncle P's rice. There are a ton of there's a ton of information out there with Master P and all of his business ventures. So what does the mainstream do? They got our young brother Jason Tatum chasing the bag. But if he'd have ran over to this bag, I guarantee you, had he gone to this bag with wrap snacks, and he could have had a whole nother extension of it, hoop snacks, I guarantee you, Jason Tatum would be getting a better cut from P than he is from Ruffle. And that's just not, oh man, HRap, that's competition. That's what you do in business. No, it's not what you do in business. Because you don't duplicate what somebody, oh, well, he might have the rappers, but we going to get the athletes. See, we've been programmed to think it's about competing with each other. No, we're not competing with each other. I would never buy another bag of Ruffles in my life. I will buy another bag of these, though. You know, I will buy some rap snacks going forward. I would never buy another bag of nobody's but P's stuff, because they saw Percy Miller moving in. They realized that Percy Miller understands what's going on. Guess what? Percy Miller got 2 big-time basketball sons, and they both are going to HBCUs. He's doing everything for the community. He's enriching people in his community. And oh, hell no, we're not going to have that. But hey, what are you supposed to do? Turn down the money? Hell yeah, turn down the money, man. Because this young brother, no offense, I still like him. I'm still a fan. I'm still going to root for this young brother. And he was just looking at it from the perspective, yeah, you could put my money on. You could put my face on there. I'll make some money for nothing. But what he didn't realize potentially is, no, they trying to take away money from Master P. See, because if Master P becomes big as Nabisco or whoever puts out Ruffles, or he even becomes a competitor. He don't even have to be as big as them if he becomes a competitor. Hey man, understand. If these big time billionaires and these $1 trillion conglomerates, when they lose $50,000, they know about it. When they lose $100,000, they know about it. And all you have to do is watch that television show called Billions to understand where I'm coming from. The man Bobby Axelrod was a poor, what they call poor white trash. He was not supposed to be a part of the bouye, what they call it in the black community. He was not supposed to be part of the upper crust. We didn't let you in. He snuck in the back door and ran past all those guys. And that's truly why they hate him. And this is why they burned down Tulsa. This is why you got freeways, the 405 freeway to separate the east and the west side of Los Angeles. This is why in Liberty City you got the, I think it's 95 South. This is why you got the Dan Ryan Expressway here in Chicago, Illinois, because every flourishing black community, if you just go back to the day before they started that, there was a big time black community there and it was blowing up. Even in Tulsa. In Tulsa, right where Greenwood is now, there's an interstate there. So you can pretend to not understand, and you can look the other way and say, hey man, hey, you just got to understand competition, HRap, and you just got to understand business, HRap. Or you can realize that you're constantly being attacked, and you have to be cognizant of these attacks, because if you're not, they will continue to win. See, it's easy to say what they are and what they aren't doing by just talking. But when there's no way in hell this is just pure coincidence. There's no way, because one of these people started off with nothing and the other one said, okay, I'm going to do this. I'm going to get in that business. And next thing you know, our young black men are on potato chip bags. And our young black men are every place where money needs to be made. These are the things that I'm talking about. We consistently pretend that we don't realize this, or we may not realize it, and that's why I'm here. I want to identify these things. I want to put them in front of the masses so you can make your mind up and you can go have conversations about this, and you can start looking at these things and say, was he right? Is this real? And then those are the wormholes and that you can go down on YouTube and look up things and wonder why and figure out why. I gave you a bunch of things to look into today, and I'm going to continue to do this because I need to provoke thought. Because when you provoke thought, even if it's one person, I only need one person to change. I don't need all 50,000 people. I don't need 1 million people. I don't need 100,000, 1 million people to change. I need one person to change. Because if he changes, it's a ripple effect. I change one life, and he changes 2 lives, and they changes 4 lives, and so forth and so on. And we continue to be better that way. I can't change. I ain't, man, look. The people of the world, the one dude that's traditionally respected throughout the world is this guy, Jesus Christ. And they nailed his ass to a cross. So what the hell? Muhammad Ali was popular after he couldn't talk. Malcolm X is the man now that he's in the ground. Dr. King is the man that, so why would everybody agree with me? I don't expect it. I don't even think about it. But I do know I can help out somebody in my community every Tuesday and every Thursday at 5 p.m. And you come on in on Monday night on the forecast. And then after this, I want you to tune in at 7:30 Central Standard Time to 3, Queens 3 and King, my man Doc and his sisters. They gonna lay it out again. See, as Doc said last night on the show, it ain't about the competition. It's about what we do in regards to enriching our folks. Because if we can get 75, 100,000 people paying attention, that's all we really need nationwide. Because again, we don't live in a nation of leaders. We live in a nation of people who go along to get along. But when you have a nation of people that go along to get along, not just in our community, a nation. I didn't say our nation, a nation. You also, when that tide changes, everybody rolls with the tide. For example, I'm old enough to remember when hip hop music was the scourge of the world. This is nonsense. This is trash. It'll only be around 4 years. Now everybody jumped on the hip hop bandwagon. It's DJs here in Chicago, home of house music, who used to be house fanatics, and now I know for a fact they were not house DJs. They were house DJs, not hip hop DJs, because we were the scum of the earth. Nobody wanted to be that. So you see, when the whole world gets behind something, a lot of us are like, when a large group gets behind something, if it continues to hang on, the masses will follow. So I only need a few of y'all to change our mind, change our ideology, change our thinking, and then we'll be in a better position within 10 years. Speaking of 10 years, we're in a horrible situation, folks. We are in a horrible situation. Me and another brother, Rated Cavs. Shout out to Rated Cavs. Shout out to you, brother. We've had countless debates, awesome debates. They ain't as violent and explosive as me and Steve, but they can be heated. And he brought up something that triggered thought in my mind. He mentioned rights. That's a tough word to get around in the United States of America today. Rights. I got the right to vote. I got the right to bear arms. I got the right to be here. Nobody's going to take away my rights. We always talk about those things. Meanwhile, they're taking away your rights every day. Do you understand that in 28 states in the United States of America, there's a lifetime ban against felons and jury duty? A lifetime ban against felons and jury duty. So if you're 18 years old, on your 18th birthday, you do something, you get charged with a felony. Don't do any time in jail, because you're underrepresented. You're under the defense situation in the United States of America. What you don't realize is, forget the defense. You don't realize is, if everybody just pleaded not guilty, even to the crimes that they knew they were guilty on, it ain't enough judges and public defenders to defend you. They have to let you go. But you got people who are copping pleas so they won't go to jail. Now he's a felon for the rest of his life. He can go on to be wildly successful, but he can't be on the jury. The reason that's important, that right is important, because if if we get 20% more time, we're the most over prosecuted group in the country. What happened, as Rated Cav even said, what happened to rehabilitation instead of persecution into perpetuity? How is it that you are going to make me pay for a mistake that I made 25, 30, 40 years ago, and now I can't be on the jury? You wonder why the dudes never did any time for murdering our young brother and our ancestor Emmett Till? Because it was an all-white jury. You wonder why these brothers keep going to jail, even when it's clear that these brothers' ancestors, when it's clear that they didn't do it, but you got 12 white people who have and 70% of white people in America don't even have a black friend. So they don't even know what your plight is. They don't know what your train of thought is. And it could be a black woman or a black man sitting on that jury going, I know exactly what he went through. But it's this thing called Berrigan's. It's Berrigan's theory. Berrigan's theory is how they get you off the jury. And this is how they systematically get black people out of the jury pool. Because they say, hey, if you have had a run-in with the police, you have a bias against the police. Now, how many black people ain't had a run-in with the police? Oh, his friend got wrongfully arrested, so he's going to look at the police. He's going to look at this and be biased. How many black people ain't doing that? So basically, you set up rules to get, he out on that, on Berrigan's rule. He's out. Because you can't discriminate because you're black. But what I can do is say, I'm being facetious, but he like fried chicken, so he out. Well, allegedly, all black people like fried chicken. A lot of us do, especially me. But That's how they get you off the jury pool. Another thing, the jury situation is set up as a joke almost. How in the hell am I making $45, $55, $75, $95,000 a year, and you want me to take off an unpaid day at work? And with that unpaid day at work, you want to give me $15 to be on the jury? Are you outside your freaking mind? Who's signing up for that? But we might have to start. This is why I keep telling y'all that 5 calls app. You need to be on the phone with every state rep. You need to be on the phone with every state senator. You need to be on the phone with anybody in city government, mayor, city manager, whatever, alderperson, and the government on the 5 call app. Every call that you call United States federal government or a person in government is tracked, and they know who you are, and they will call you back. I've done it, and I got a friend who had to do it this week. So if we're not going to be engaged, we really need to shut the hell up and get them tattered clothes back, get your tattered clothes back in order, and get your hands nice and rough, so when you're picking that cotton again, figuratively, you'll be cool and comfortable, and you'll be back where you need to be. These are the things that are holding us back. 28 states, if you get a felony, you can't go. We're under the tyranny of mass incarceration, but we're not engaging with the system. See, the Republicans don't like us, and the Democrats don't like us either. Democrats don't ever do anything. Last time I checked, if somebody openly doesn't like you, and somebody else clearly is not doing you any favors, you got 2 people that don't like you, not 1. They're just vocal about it. And let me ask y'all this. I do this show about black empowerment, but if you saw me walking down the street with David Duke, or if you saw me on TV with Donald Trump, you saw me on TV with anybody who's that is known as an open racist, how valuable would the stuff that I say be to you? Or how credible would it be? Because I'm not even going to say it's valuable to you now. But how credible would I be? I wouldn't be credible at all, because you'd be like, oh man, he talking all that black stuff, but they slapped him that little change, and look how he acted. That's what you would say. And you know you would. They slid him that little change, and look at him now. He acting brand new. He talks about Stephen A, but when they gave him that money, he started acting just like Stephen A. That's what you would say. So Strom Thurmond, one of the greatest racists in the history in the history of government, United States government in modern history, is Joe Biden's mentor. So if somebody's mentoring you, you're taking on their characteristics because you see what they've done and you see the successes that they've had, behaving the way they do. So how in the hell could Joe Biden possibly be hanging out with racists, looking up the racists, and then doing the bidding for the black community? Help me understand. But, hey man, sometimes you can teach a dog to meow. Sometimes you can teach a cat to bark. So anything is possible. But what's the likelihood of it? We have to start. We must make a list in our community. I keep saying this, and I'm going to keep saying it, of things that we need. Reduce this mass incarceration thing. I saw something going on this morning in Chicago where it was a mini tank riding through my city. And police officers with sirens. It's their mobile tank, not the tank that you're thinking about, but this is called a tank. LA, they used to call it a battering ram. But 13 million people being affected with this felony, you can't be on the jury. So 13 million people out of our group, and a lot of them out of our group, can't be on the jury. Then you got voters' rights. A lot of states out here, if you commit a crime, you can't vote. So basically, why didn't you leave me in jail? Because if you're going to make me pay for my mistake for the rest of my life, you may as well left me in that box. But again, nobody's talking about that. Nobody's looking into that. And this is why we must galvanize our community, get together, and then keep it cracking, man. Because if we don't, we will suffer the consequences. You already know what today is. It's the 21st of the month. It's the 21st of the month, and it's Black Appreciation Day. Remember, a couple of months ago, we made a pact on the 7th, the 14th, and the 21st of every month. You're going to show support to a black business and spend as much money as you can with a black business every month for the rest of your life. Let's do it. 21st of the month. Black Appreciation Day. That's what we're going to call it every month. Black Appreciation Day is the 7th. Black Appreciation Day is the 14th. Black Appreciation Day is the 21st of the month. Those days are in every single solidarity month, and they 7, so you know what the 7, that's the God number. But I just need people to start investing in their community as much as they invest in foolishness on TV and nonsense on Facebook. Look, I might be the silliest guy you ever meet. You can't tell because I'm always serious on the show. But I think I'm a relatively funny dude. I love to laugh and joke and kick it and do my thing. But at some point, we're going to have to stop and look around and go, this nonsense needs to stop. With that being said, I want to show you this video. I'll come back shortly. It'll be, hopefully, it's a treat. And as we say on the west side of Chicago, it's always a treat when players meet. I'll be back shortly. This is the End of the Bench podcast on Built for This Network. I am HRap.
I know thy works, and tribulation, and poverty, but thou art rich. Welcome to the Black Excellence and Abundance Channel. Beneath the city streets that travelers walk on each day, dark labyrinths of underground catacombs are passageways to the past, to a time when the ghostly tunnels served as burial grounds for millions of people.
The Catacombs of Rome, which date back to the 1st century and were among the first ever built, were constructed as underground tombs, first by Jewish communities and then by Christian communities. There are only 6 known Jewish catacombs and around 40 or more Christian catacombs.
Situated in what was a quarry in Roman times, the Catacombs of Priscilla were used for underground Christian burials from the late 2nd century through the 4th century. The catacombs extend for roughly 13 kilometers or roughly 8 miles on several levels. In ancient Rome, it was not permitted for bodies to be buried within the city walls. So while pagans cremated their dead, Christians who were not legally allowed to practice their religion turned to underground cemeteries built beneath land owned by the city's few rich Christian families.
The Jewish population was already implementing this practice when Christians began to do so around the 2nd century.
In the Catacombs of Rome, there are many different pieces of artwork. Most artworks are religious in nature, some depicting important Christian rites such as baptism or religious scenes and stories such as the story of the 3 Hebrews and the fiery furnace, or biblical figures such as Adam and Eve. There is also artwork of the Last Supper pictures. 2nd century catacombs of the Messiah and his disciples. And yes, it's true, they were all black. The Bible even makes mention of the whitewashing of biblical figures, and this can be found in the Apocrypha in King James. 1st Maccabees, chapter 3, verse 48. And laid open the book of the law, wherein the heathen had sought to paint the likeness of their images. Surviving Christian art is preserved on the walls of tombs belonging to wealthy Christians in the Catacombs of Rome. However, like almost all paintings from classical times, these have disappeared. Possibly the earliest known image of the Virgin Mary is a fresco dated about 150 CE in the Catacombs of Priscilla on the Via Salaria in Rome that shows her nursing the infant Jesus on her lap, along with other biblical images that include Jonah, who's 3 days in the belly of the whale, Daniel in the lion's den, the 3 Hebrew boys, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, or as I like to say, a bad Negro in the fiery furnace. The image of the Good Shepherd, a beardless youth in pastoral scenes collecting sheep. Among the earliest depictions clearly intended to directly represent Jesus himself are many showing him as a baby, usually held by his mother, especially in the adoration of the Magi. In the Roman catacombs, Jesus, Mary, and the apostles are depicted as African people. Images of King David and King Solomon found in the catacombs of Russia, as well as Adam and Eve in the Garden of Eden, are all depicted as black. Why is this? The Christian catacombs are extremely important for the art history of early Christian art, as they contain the great majority of examples before about 400 AD, in fresco and sculpture, as well as gold glass medallions. These, like most bodies, have been removed. Fresco painting is a method of painting water-based pigments on applied plaster, usually on wall surfaces, the colors which are made by grinding. An early representation of Christ found in the catacomb of Domitilla shows the figure of Christ flanked by a group of his disciples or students. Christ, draped in classical garb, holds a scroll in his left hand, while his right hand is outstretched in the gesture of the orator.
The following are more images found in the catacombs of Russia and Paris. One of the most, if not the most, significant facts about the catacombs is that they took place during the 1st and 2nd century, some 1,200 years before the European Renaissance. The Renaissance was a fervent period of European culture, artistic, political, and economic rebirth following the Middle Ages, generally described as taking place from the 14th to the 17th century. The Renaissance promoted the rediscovery of classical philosophy, literature, and art in Europe. Centuries before the changing of the images by the European artists, there are in fact thousands of other pictures of biblical characters, but none predates the ones from the catacombs in Paris and Russia. The images seen in this presentation are among the oldest on the planet. The Black Excellence and Abundance Channel, where Black history is every day.
Thanks for watching.
Please like, comment, share, and subscribe. And as always, remember that thou art rich.
You are returned. This is HRap. This is Built for This Network. I am the host of the End of the Bench podcast, where I attempt to build up the community and destroy the lies and the propaganda. Hopefully that was inspirational, because as you saw, people know more about your history than you. Why are people hiding these things? Because again, what you know, you will repeat. If you know nefarious activities, you will repeat nefarious activities. If you know greatness, you will repeat greatness. And if everybody's looking up to this guy by the name of Jesus, and he was the greatest ever, and he was part of your lineage, I'm through talking. Now, what I want you to do, again, I'm giving you wormholes to go down, gopher holes to go down, like Alice in Wonderland. I want you to go down these rabbit holes and see what's going on. Do yourself a favor right now, even while you're doing the show, or maybe after the show. Do yourself a favor. Speaking to your phone, or Google the original name of the continent of Africa. Do yourself a favor. We do all this reading of the Bible. We do all this studying of the Quran. We do all this reading of the Torah. We do all this studying of Buddhism, whatever. But I want you to do yourself a favor. Even if you stop watching the show right now, but before you start watching the show, I'm going to need you to hit that like button. I'm going to need you to hit that share button. I'm going to need you to hit that subscribe button. I'm going to need you to hit that notification button, hit that bell, so I don't have to send you stuff every day. You get a notification that come up on your phone. Oh, wrap on, let's get this cracking. But do yourself a favor. Look up, and if you're in the chat room, put it in the chat room. Look up the original name of the continent of Africa. And then put in what you get when you Google that. So that'll help you in your studies going forward. But as you saw, man, people are hiding your history from you, and people don't hide the truth from you unless they're living a lie. And if they're living a lie, then what's going on? Why are they living a lie? Why must they tell you that you're nothing but a criminal? How the hell did you build a nation but you're lazy? How did you create over 2,400, it's either 24 or 2,800 on that continent, and then you can't read over here? Come on, man. These things are foolish. And if you listening, tweet it to me what you find out, or at HRap_B. Hit me on the inbox, Brian D. Williams on Facebook, or just shoot it at your boy HRap on Instagram or Twitter at HRap_B. And you're gonna do yourself a favor. For people who, I'm saying, you got these bad habits: lying, stealing, drugs, alcohol, pedophilia, rape, violent tendencies. When you look up the original name of Africa and look at the definition of it, hopefully it'll stop you from doing that, because you'll realize, wait a minute, the whole get down is a lie. Because when you see where you're from, you'll realize how Genesis includes your black ass. But with that being said, I'm just gonna move on, man, because I need you to understand these things. And what I'm gonna move on now is sports and entertainment segment of the show. And I'm not gonna talk about sports and entertainment. I'm gonna talk about, like I mentioned, my little sister Simone Biles, my little sister, damn, I can't think of the other tennis girl name, and how they were kicked in the face and totally disrespected. Thank you, Golden. Exactly. There you go. They were kicked in the face. But we want to be kicked in the face at this point, because we keep looking for the dominant society's acceptance. We don't need anybody's acceptance. You tune in to BS3. You tune in to Bill for this network. You tune in to my man D-Grade. And everybody who's inculcated into that. And then you'll get what you need. Hopefully you'll get some enrichment from me. And then you go to Finest Wine cooking channel. My man D, he over there cooking up a storm. He on some gourmet. And then you tune in to Rated Kev, he talking sports and he talking firearms. And then you tune in to Chief Rocker, he gonna give you everything. Like Big Illinois said, you might mess around and learn how to cook a cake on Chief Rocker show. He talking about everything. DJ Knox, Cheers Roundtree, and James Earl, they talking about popular culture and the effect on the other culture. and from their perspective. And wherever you at, the greatest, he doing the spiritual thing, he's doing the uplifting thing, he's doing the music thing. Ben got every single solitary base covered on his network. I'm on Ben's network. Dog's on Ben's network. Mayhem's on Ben's network. Al Hyde, who made these hats. Y'all need to reach out to Al Hyde and get y'all one of these hats. I can't think. So many people on there, man. I get notifications all day. They don't know I'm listening because I hate the chat room. That's just me. People don't think I'm not supporting your show. I freaking hate the chat room. I do. I just do. I got into this podcast thing and I wasn't doing chat rooms when I came over here to Spreaker.com and then moved over to YouTube chat rooms. I like it. I like when y'all engage with me, but I don't like to do it. So, but like I said, man, like I was saying, back to the point. Allow me to regress. The National Football League, the NBA, they are having an attack on our young brothers. Now, I understand that everybody does not know our culture. We were talking about this on Forecast last night. Trash talk, smack talk, snapping, or whatever you want to call it, is part of our culture. You don't talk no more trash. You don't talk trash to nobody else. Nobody more than your closest friends. You gonna be a black this and shut the hell up and all of that as you move around our community. And because these rich and powerful people who run these leagues realize that their grandkids and their great-grandkids are listening to this damn rap music and listening to this damn R&B, and they having an empathetic ear to these black folks, and they having an empathetic ear to these poor folks, and that undermines their hierarchy, what they're doing. And they know that these young people from their community are emulating these young people, so they're cutting these things out because they don't understand it and they don't want to understand it. All they understand is power. So when they do this, exactly, golden siblings too, sibling rivalries, that's the most fun. You ain't gonna have more fun. Me and my sister Phyllis, we tease our oldest sister all the time. I ain't gonna say the name because I ain't trying to get beat up. Older sister still might be able to throw some hands. I'm just saying. But they act like they don't understand this. I'm watching the Bear game Sunday, and they got this rule called taunting. Do you clowns not understand that a lot of these guys went to camps together, played on traveling teams together and things of that nature? So when they say something fiery back to the dude, they talking to their friend. But this is to cut the personality out of the game. In other words, this is another way of saying shut up and dribble, shut up and tackle, shut up and catch and run. But we need to take notice to that, because just like I said earlier, our brother Jason Tatum is on this bag of potato chips right here to get the bag, and they in competition with our brother Master P right here. We move the needle, whether we acknowledge it or not. See, we always say, man, we set the trends, but what we need to do is realize that while setting these trends, what we need to do is take control of it. Take control of it. And what I mean by that is this. If you are a big-time athlete, you need to seek out a person like myself, or Al Hyde, or what's my man, Courtney Harden, or somebody, Chief Rocker, and tell your story on our network. See, because if you don't want us to talk, if you don't want us to show emotion, imagine if this happened one day. Imagine if this happened one day. They win the Super Bowl. You go in the locker room, everybody just sitting there getting dressed. Nobody's excited. Nobody doing champagne. Cause see, celebrations are not allowed on the field, right? And we don't want you to be too emotional, because when Richard Sherman blew up about a couple months ago at his wife's father, we don't know what was said. We don't know what was done. All we heard was Richard Sherman is emotionally unstable. He's inebriated. He attacked his father-in-law. We don't know the details. I'm not going into it. But they referenced when Richard Sherman was talking trash to a competitor. Not the fact that Richard Sherman has a master's degree in sociology, and not that Richard Sherman is doing all these great things in the black community. They highlighted his one flaw. Now, imagine if all those dudes who dance and shake and shimmy, if they never did another interview on Fox, NBC, ABC, CBS, TNT, or ESPN, and they all came to me and my cohorts. Just imagine if you could turn on Ben from BS3 Sports and see the very Jason Tatum here on Ben's show. Ben ain't got to go to work no more. Because, oh man, well, ESPN ain't doing nothing more than what Ben from BS3 could do. He's doing nothing more than Chief Rocker could do. He's doing nothing more than I can do. He's doing nothing more than D. ESPN is not more powerful because they the most powerful network because we made it cool. But if y'all start coming to us, we cool. And then you can cuss. Not that cursing is the best thing in the world, but you can speak your mind, you won't be judged, and you can be emotional. But just imagine, they win the Super Bowl, everybody put on their clothes and then go to the party. Go to a private party where they can boogie, dance, and do whatever the hell they want to do. That'll shut all that nonsense about, like we were talking about the Malice in the Palace. They were known as thugs. They were ghetto. It was hip hop. I could be as hip hop as I want to be on HRap show. I can show up in my drawers if I want to. I can talk to HRap about whatever the hell I want to talk to him about, and we can move forward, and then we ain't got to worry about a damn thing. And my story will be told by me. No problem. And that's the beauty of being having a podcast. There's no such thing as missed. There's no such thing as late. Because this will be here into perpetuity. As my man Kara once said, we will be here forever. Forever and ever, ever and ever. We will be here forever. But these are the things that we need to be aware of. The power that we have. See, I want to go to Duke because Duke got this exposure. And they got real nice beds and they got video games and... But you do understand why you want to go to the pros. So you can take care of your family. I'm your family. Chief Rocker's your family. Rady Care's your family. Ben's your family. Take care of us. If you start coming to us, you make us big as ESPN, and then bam, it's over. We don't need you. But people keep buying into the nonsense. Oh man, they need to stop. No, they don't. Keep up the nonsense. ESPN, keep doing what you're doing because at some point, just like I told y'all 5 years ago, one of these big time players is going to take his ass to an HBCU, and then all those young brothers going to start going down there. Ladies, allow me to introduce Coach Prime. And Coach Eddie George, and George Lynch, and Kenny Anderson, and a host of others. Hey, Nick Saban come in your house, and Nick Saban come in your house, and Coach Prime come in your house. Who your daddy? Your daddy my age? Who in the hell is going? Who you gonna go with? Because all you have to do is keep going to Jackson State. Jackson State come up first. They get this big stadium. Next thing you know, they doing exactly what Alabama doing. Then Coach Prime, Mr. Eddie Robinson, 2K. And then Kenny Anderson or George or my man Darryl Walker from here in Chicago, at Arkansas Pine Bluff, or George Lynch down at what's my school number one rival, Clark, Atlanta. And they keep building it up and building it up and building it up. Guess what? We don't need them then. We don't need them then. Period. We don't need them then. But we keep backtracking and going with that. So if you want to get out of slavery, the first thing you have to realize is that you're in bondage. And you realize you're in bondage because you keep adhering to rules that people need you. No offense to our white brothers and sisters, but ain't nobody going to see no damn 11 Tom Brady's run up and down the field. You think the world want to see Wes Welker and Tom Brady play, or do you want to see Julio Jones and Donovan McNabb play, or you want to see Deshaun Watson and Deshaun Jackson and what's the boy name, Odell Beckham Jr.? Do you want to see Faker will fail? No, nobody wants to see that. It needs to be an equal mix, but at the end of the day, we the engine. And without the engine, the train don't move. So keep buying into it, but then at some point realize you don't need none of that. The Africa Diaspora Channel is another place you can go and check out things. It's a million Tariq Nasheed. I always salute people at the end, and these are the things that we need to do. Nobody wants to see Big Illinois, though. Nobody. I saw his grandson cover his eyes the other night. That's my man, Big Illinois. But these are the things that we need to realize, because if you're the engine and you don't realize that you're the engine, you think you're the damn caboose, and then you think you have no power. But if you're pulling the train, then you realize you're pulling the train, and then when you stop, the train hits you, then you realize, no, they're not in front of you. They're behind you. When they haven't lapped us, they're chasing us. They're picking up the scraps, and then they're going, hey, well, they rob you of music programs. They rob you of art programs, and then they go, hey, the biggest jazz musician is Kenny G. That's because you took the music programs, and HRap wasn't able to play, and Big Illinois wasn't able to play, and Phyllis wasn't able to play, and Joe wasn't able to play. Oh, where's all the good music at? If you remove music and arts from schools, the creative juices are trapped inside of our young people, and they're expressing themselves in a horrible way. If you make it, that's like with this, everybody gets a trophy. If everybody get a trophy, where's the competition? Competition breeds excellence. And then you realize, I'm not good at this, I'm good at that. That's why our kids crumble. That's why these young people act out in violence, because they don't know how to act out in any other way, because all the tools have been taken from them. And it's our job to engage in this system, because your black ass ain't going to Africa. Stop telling that damn lie. You're not going to Jamaica. You're not going to Barbados. Your ass ain't even going to Florida. So if you're going to be here, engage. Get your people in play and get your needs met. That's all I'm saying, folks. That's all I'm saying. Get your needs met. One thing, I'm about to jump up on this soapbox. Y'all might tune out after this. Y'all about to tell me to go to hell. Some of y'all gonna tell me to drop dead. But that's the way it is. I don't rarely do this, but I'm a pet peeve y'all tonight. This is my number one pet peeve in my life. When I go to social media to promote my shows, or say happy birthday, or put something silly up, or put something positive up. Because I put the positive is probably the last thing. Silly, that's where I'm at. That's where I live, silly. Don't think because I'm pro-black, I'm not the silliest guy you ever gonna meet. But I'm sick of you people who were born from 1978 on back, putting that dumb, and I'm gonna cuss too, putting that dumb shit about the holidays ain't like they used to be. First and foremost, your black ass need to stop investing in these holidays, okay? Christmas is not so if you want to exchange gifts, learn your family members and get them something that would be beneficial to them. Period. If a book, something about history, something about cooking, if they like cook, find something that your family members like, instead of spending a grip and now you $3, now you 50 cents away from a quarter. Stop that, first and foremost. Second, This nonsense about it ain't like it used to be when my grandmama was old. It ain't like it when grandma was here. None of that. You know why it ain't like it used to be when your grandmama was here? Because your black ass is grandmama now and granddaddy. If you were born in 1978, more than likely, you got a grandbaby today. And you know why people don't come to your house for Thanksgiving? Because you treat people like trash for Christmas, New Year's, Valentine's Day, Mothers, Fathers, Memorial, and the 4th of July. So hell no one is coming to your house for Thanksgiving. You must, you know the difference in you and the holidays now and then? Our grandparents and parents had their doors open to our drunk ass, ignorant uncles and aunts who acted a fool every holiday, and you wondered as a kid why they keep letting him come over here, because he started a fight every week, because it was your grandparents' policy to let everybody in. You cannot have a family event and exclude certain family members, except that some of our family members are jacked up. Period. That's the way it is. Guess what? You might be the jacked up one. This ain't, look, I'm not promoting these paganistic holidays, but I am promoting family unity. I am promoting supporting your brothers, sisters, uncles, aunts, cousins, nieces, nephews, fathers, mothers, and grandparents. Because if this COVID ain't taught you nothing, whatever this is, if it ain't taught you nothing, it should have taught you that you need to love your friends and family. And your family ain't had to come from the same bloodline. Your relatives, they come from the same bloodline. Your family, you pick it. You can't pick your relatives, but you can pick your family. But we finna get rid of that too. We need to be talking about, don't be walking down the street talking about my brother, and then you talk about your actual brother, or talk about that brother or sister when he or she walk down. You know she ain't on nothing. You know she back on that liquor. No, man. No. We used to tease my Uncle Larry. We used to tease him all the time. But we loved hanging out with my Uncle Larry. My Uncle Rory would cuss you out at the drop of a hat. We love my Uncle Rory. My Uncle Richard, he stayed on my neck to the point where I didn't even think he liked me at one point in my life. Now he's one of my closest friends. He's not just my uncle. He's my close friend. And I can end this show and go to his house right now and be welcomed. And until, look, you wonder why these kids act the way they act? Because we act the way we act. Welcome friends and family, neighbors into your home. Treat your friends and family like the Lansdowns treat me. Act like my Aunt Rita, my sister Phil. And the man is at it, man. But look, if you want things to return to the way it was when we were children, then you need to act the way the people that were 50 years old and older, 45 years old, 40 years and older acted back then too. Because it ain't just everybody else. You have to welcome people into your arm. My man Mike Neal takes time out of his day every day and talks for 60 minutes about improving himself and improving you. He don't have to do that. He could just go exercise and go lay down and get ready for work every day. But he takes time out of his day. He used to take time out of his day once a month and throw the people in my community a party. A party once a month. That's why we're a close-knit family on the north side. Because people like my brother Mike Neal. So if you want things to return the way they used to be, act like, won't you assume the identity of granddaddy, and the sisters, y'all need to start assuming the identity of my dear big mama, and welcome people in outside of them 4 or 5 funky ass days. Look, 4th of July, what is it? Mother's Day, Father's Day, Memorial Day, 4th of July, Thanksgiving, and Christmas. Them 7 motherfucking days. It's 365 days a year. You need to be nice on 350 of those days if you want it to be the way it used to be. Your grandmother used to keep it funky every day. Your grandmama would smack everybody out and then let you in the house and get you something to eat. Don't be cut in and out of my house. All our grandmamas said the same thing. It's like they was reading out a script in a movie. So if you want it to be the way it used to be, act the way they used to act. Everybody's welcome. Everybody eats. Everybody's going to be respected. And how about this? Before I go, this is the last thing. Start sending your kids down south so they can get to know their damn families and they can get that spirituality that's coming up out the ground from our ancestors, and they can feel something. They can feel it. And then they come back to this concrete jungle with that spirituality from that mud in Mississippi, that mud in Alabama, that mud in Arkansas, that mud in Texas, Florida, and Georgia, Tennessee. And then they come up here feeling a whole different way because spiritually, family-wise, and mentally, they be better people. With that being said, I want to thank y'all for tuning in. This is your man, HRap. I want to salute to everybody who tuned in. Thank you. Please hit that like button. It's important to me. Hit that like button, hit that like button, hit that like button, hit that like button, hit that like button. Please hit that like button. Thank you. Then, what I want you to do, hit that share button. Tell a friend to tune in Thursday, 5 p.m. I'll be back with more stuff to talk about. It's going to be tough. But I do it every week, man. I want to salute the people who give me inspiration. Lamont King, Lazy Lamont, he used to be known as, formerly known as Lazy Lamont. Lamont King, all fun jokes. Podcast Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays on YouTube. The Ghetto Boys podcast, Tariq Nasheed podcast, Nori podcast, him and DJ EFN, Ray Grady, Zoe Williams, Corey Holcomb, Craig Smith, the Reverend Al Sharpton, Sister the Queen of Hip Hop, Heather B. I don't care what y'all say, Queen of Hip Hop, Heather B. Y'all don't know nothing if y'all don't know nothing about Heather B. The brother Clay Kane, tune in. One of my favorite people in the history of the earth, Larry Daniel Favors. The elder Joe Madison, walking Encyclopedia Brown, and then one of the smartest, most informed people in the history of the earth, as far as I'm concerned. His name is Dr. Greg Carter. There's no topic that he is not well versed in. And y'all already know the Queen Mother, Karen Hunter. She killing it. The inspiration of the show. Much love to Karen Hunter. Salute to Karen Hunter. Salute to everybody. Salute to y'all, man. Do something nice, man. Do something nice to somebody, man. Do something for somebody. Like my man, Dog. Take on them, Dog. I need everybody to be Dog. Do something nice just to do it. Don't expect nothing, just do it. Do something for somebody that don't know you and they can't help you. Just do something nice, whether it be advice or whatever. Just do something nice for somebody. That's the new motto of the end of the bench. Do something nice. Do something for someone. Don't wait on a blessing. Bless somebody. And as I end every show, I say salute to Reggie O'Shea, a.k.a. Combat Jack. And I say close out like he closed out all his shows before he transitioned to an ancestor. Dream your dreams and man up and woman up and live those dreams, because life without dreams flows in black and white, and life with dreams flows in technicolor and surround sound. Y'all already know who I am. It is your man HRap of Built for This Network. Stop telling people I'm only on YouTube. Shut the hell up. You don't know what you're talking about. I am on Built for This. I own fucking Built for This Network, you idiots. Me, Rocker, Knox. Why would I leave my fucking network? So, with that being said, man, y'all already know what it is. 2 fingers, 1 word. It's your man HRap in the place to be. I am out.
No escaping this.
We are Built for This Network, for the strong, not the weak.